Hello. Right. Trump's tariffs have had a bit of an issue on the market. Honestly, I mean, he just doesn't seem to ever learn, this guy, right? He has this crazy fetish about tariffs, and he is full blown, full port going ahead with tariffs, and that is a problem. Tariffs are a problem, and combine that with 150 different other things that are going on at this present moment. I never get you when you first get on. Yes, I know. But that doesn't matter. There's so much that is happening at the moment. We're going to go through the thing. You know what? I'm going to give a bit of time for this to move a little bit, because there's so much to go through today. It's important. Today's one is very, very important to actually get to understanding of what's going on. This is what I will say. Wait, why can't you see my screen? What's going on? Hello? Can you guys see my screen? Is it working? Oh, yes, it's working. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's see. Right, now, where are we going? What's going on? What is the relevant news of what's happening? What is the situation of what's going on in the market? Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? It's going to be an information dump like you have never seen before. Just so I'll tell you guys. Why is this not working? Brev, work. Ah, there we go. Okay, it's working. Oh, now it's not working. Hello? Activate. Good, it's working. All right, cool. Now, where to start? First things first. Donald Trump's tariffs, right? Donald Trump's tariffs have just basically caused the continuous downward spiral of Bitcoin in every sense of the word. The people were sketchy at the best of times, and now it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And more importantly, what is extremely important is that when I first said to everyone very clearly, why is this here? That if this thing does not close above the 2.31 trillion on the total market cap, this thing is going down, right? And as we see, the weekly had a wobble. The weekly had a major wobble and closed below the 2.31 trillion. That from TikTok to YouTube, just for the sake of the charts. Thank you, I appreciate it. If you could follow as well and press the bell button, you can see it on that side. Unfortunately, TikTok doesn't allow me to do this kind of thing. I'm still trying to get my account back, right? So we're in a situation right now where we're in a move where we've closed the weekly on the 2.31, right? That 2.31 close below means that at minimum we're going down towards the 2.05. It's going to test this wick here. Every wick that we've seen is going to test it. So this wick, it's coming for that wick, right? Now, what will happen from that point is going to be dependent on relevant news and something on a level where we're going to have to see some level of stability. And stability is not what we have at this present moment. Stability is not what we have. I will say this, right? I will say this. If we get, and I'm just going to be the best way for you to do it for people who just want entries, right? If we get Bitcoin to go below 60, which is a very high chance that this thing could potentially go there. I'm not going to lie. There is a chance that could happen. Then, I mean, up until that point, we're at that stage now where every pump will be a shorting opportunity. The 60,054 is the line in the sand. If not, we will most probably go sub 50, right? Sub 50. I'm being very, very serious, right? So we have to be very, very cautious about what's happening right now. Even if we look at right now, if it loses this level, I mean, it's losing already. So it looks like there's no sound. Wait, is there no sound on the tube? Sound is gone. What? But I can. What? But I can see it. The sound is working on my. 1 second. There's sound. No, I'm talking about on the tube. Wait, what's going on? Can you guys hear me? It's back. Is it back? I don't know what happened there. I apologize. Right. There it is. I don't know what happened. It sometimes can happen. So yeah, if we start losing this area, which it looks like we're losing already, right? This thing is going to do a massive spot. There isn't much support left. That's all I'm going to say for this. And it looks like that it's going to come and try and take out down to 61, at minimum down to the 60, right? 60,000. There is a chance it could go down there. It looks like it's going to go and try and take that out. Now, what I will say is this. There's a lot of issues that are going on right now, right? And I'm just going to go through everything, right? I'm just going to go through a quick fire through the whole situation of what's going on, what I'm looking at, what details. There's so much to get through. I don't know how I'm going to get through everything. First things first, if we look at alts, right, we are having one of the worst, and in fact, Bitcoin in general, the worst fourth quarter, or the first quarter of any year since 2018. By a country mile worse than anything else. We are in what could be described as some of the worst environment for Bitcoin since 2018, right? But I'm going to say something. At the end of this, remind me of this graph, right? And remind me what I've said to you right now, 2018. I'm talking about 2018, right? So we're having one of the worst quarters of that period since 2018. Make sure you all remind me. I want to see if you guys were listening, because it's going to be very important at the end when I'm going to talk to you guys, right? And tell you what you guys will happen. So we're having the worst quarter. It's looking like it's going to be one of the worst things that periods for Bitcoin in history. And in alts, we are seeing historic drawdowns. So you guys can understand, alts are, and then on average, if you look at the benchmarks that are created, it's almost 90% drawdown on average. On average, we're on a 90% drawdown on alts, which is historically low. We are breaking records at this present moment, and you need to ask yourself this question, right? Why is it doing this? Why are we in this scenario that's going on? What is going on? What is the situation of what is happening? And we're at this scenario right now, right? We're at this scenario right now. Pro crypto Trump. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that, right? Yes, we have the Donald Trump tariffs, right? This is how stupid this is. So you guys understand how mind-numbingly stupid it is what we're doing right now, right? How mind-numbingly. He has to now repay the earnings from the previous tariffs that were illegal, right? So it's illegal what he's done. The unconstitutional, the Supreme Court has said that it's unconstitutional. So they have to now repay that. On top of that, they now have a new tariff system, which he said may go up to 15%, right? And the fact that he has to repay those tariffs to American companies should show you how ridiculous this is right now. He's now doubling down on the cost of the of imports, and it is having a spectacular effect. Spectacular. It is truly spectacular at this present moment, because as of today, the new world reserve currency is gold. It has now taken over the dollar. As of today, it's a historic event right now. Right now, we are witnessing the complete destruction of the dollar as we see it. This is where we are at this. It's like we are in a world spectacular situation right now. The dollar is not seen as the safe haven anymore. Gold is, right? And that should give you an understanding of how worried the investors are. And this is the thing, right? If you would ask me, and everyone keeps saying, oh, there's no liquidity in the market, there's no liquidity in the market, there's no liquidity in the market, there's no liquidity in the market. There's no liquidity in the market, you're saying, right? There's no liquidity in the market. I'll show you one person with liquidity in the market. There you go. There you go, right? Berkshire Hathaway has now broken his record, his own record for the amount of cash reserves he has. He has 384, almost, well, it's on the verge. He's supposedly going to end at $400 billion. $400 billion he's sitting on right now. Right now. And the thing is, the reason why he's sitting on it, right? The reason why he's just sitting on this astronomical amount of money, and he's not an idiot, right? He's not going to do this thing where he's going to just sit on the dollar and just wait for the devaluation of the dollar to happen, right? It's ridiculous. What's the point? What's the point of him doing that? By the way, anyone that's new here wants to see my screen, just go here. You'll see everything there. Make sure you follow and press the bell button. You'll see everything there. Once, and if I get my account back, you'll start seeing it here. But at this present moment, this is my alt account. You know, if you want to know who I am, you guys should know who I am. I've been in this space for a while, right? Now, so he's at for almost $400 billion worth of cash at the moment. So there's liquidity. This is one person. This is one company. There are thousands like this, maybe not as this size, but there is a lot, right? People are just waiting for the market to get to a stable scenario where they can actually do something with it, right? This is where we are. And the situation where we're sitting at this present moment, right, is that we are at maximum, peak. Like, no one knows what's going on at the moment. No one has an absolute understanding of what's going to happen next. And the problem is, right? And the problem is, especially if we look at the market at this present moment, right? I appreciate if you guys can press the like. I need to get to like 20, 30 thousand likes. That would be amazing. What does Warren Buffett have more of than anyone else? Patience. Exactly. Everyone should have patience as well. I'm going to get to all that. Remind me of the 2018 graph that I showed you at the end of this stream. I'm going to tell you something that is going to make you happy, right? I'm going to get through all the crazy stuff first, and then we can go from there. So that's where we are at this present moment, right? Now, what's happening at this crazy moment, on top of all the tariffs and the inflationary issues and this and the other, I would bet, I haven't looked. I swear I haven't looked right now. I swear I haven't looked. If I was to look at what is the percentage chance of a rate cut happening, I would say it's 0. Right, let me see. Let's see, Fed Watch. I haven't looked. I swear to you, I'm looking at it right now. I would say it's 0. Hello, come on. What's going on? Not 0, 96%. They're not going to cut. They're definitely not going to cut. And the reason why they're not going to cut, right, is this small little issue. If anyone else was going to, not 0, but 4%, right? But it's near 0, right? And if I was going to point to a singular reason, right, why they're not going to cut, right? I'm going to get to that. Let me just explain what the singular reason why that is. But before that, you have to be very, very clear and understanding that we're having Bitcoin having a massive drawdown, but other markets are not, right? And I'll say this to you right now. Bitcoin and our market is far more reactive to potential risk than the alternative markets, because they have usual inflows from pension funds, from the whole bunch of stuff, with trillions of dollars go into these type of markets. But there is an event that is brewing right now, right? That will, in my humble opinion, cause the mother of all pullbacks in all these industries. And at that point, Bitcoin's going to go down as well. Everything's going to go down if this happens. And that thing, if you can guess, I'm not sure if you can guess it, right, is this. People don't understand, people don't get why America going into Iran is a bad thing. Militarily, Iran has 0 chance. When I say 0 chance, they will not even be able to put up a fight. I promise you, no matter what anyone says, there is zero chance that they're going to win this conflict. It's if America wants regime change, they're going to get the regime change. The problem is what they have said and they have threatened. Say this, right? And I'll say this to you together. If you're a totalitarian regime who has ultimate control over the whole of their country, and they're put into they put their backs to the wall, right? Absolutely put their backs to the wall. Their back is to the wall. America's coming at them. They have no chance of doing this. If they want to cause maximum damage to not just America, but to the world, you forget what this is, but you start looking at this area here. The Persian Gulf, right? And the Strait of Hormuz. Hormuz? I think I'm saying it right. And if you want to know why that is, so just so I can give you guys some clarity, the war is not the issue. That's not the problem. They can do whatever they want to. This is the problem. It's what Iran actually does is going to be the issue, right? If they take out all of this, oil, right, the oil reserves and the depots and destruct the flows, this is the problem. 35% of the world's gas and oil goes through there. 35% of the world's gas and oil are stored in the Persian Gulf countries. And I'll say this, if this happens and they attack these reserves and they attack these fields and they attack the ships on it and they close it straight, expect oil to get to $200. And if oil gets to $200, inflation goes to the moon and we have a worldwide recession. I need, like, if you want to see a black swan, this is a black swan coming at you. People can see this, right? If he does this, if he does and goes into he's going to do this and Iran actually retaliates in the way, or if it's not just a gesture, because he might do a gesture, right? Unless there's some sort of, he spent billions of dollars to get all these things and refueling ships. And more importantly, if you look at this, look, there is a, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but you should check this out. This is something that's definitely worth a read, right? If you go to Shanaka Anslam's Petra's X, right? Read this. This is going around, by the way. You guys can see it everywhere. I hope people are talking about it. But this was something that was released by I think an ex-CIA agent, right? Who looks at certain factors. He doesn't look at like the pizza index. And apparently there's one called, one second. I didn't even know this was such a thing. Where is it called? Something called the gay index. Never heard of that. Oh yeah, here we go. Ignore the pizza orders. Ignores the gay bar index. Ignore the memes. What's the gay bar index? Anyway, whatever. What he said is that forget all of that kind of stuff. You need to look at these massive ordnance. Yeah, I know that band, but I'm just reading what it is on the screen. Massive ordnance carrier planes, right? These planes are made to carry extremely heavy loads. Anyway, whatever. I'm just gonna. It's a serious subject. I can't. They're made to carry extremely heavy loads, right? 700 tons and up. These planes, and they are all flying out of the USA. All of them. There isn't a single one in you. Check it out. Read this thing. There isn't a single one left in the USA and in the neighboring bordering countries. Why would he do this if he's not going to go in, right? And this is my worry. This is my worry, right? Where that unless this is a scenario where he's going to do something where he's just like putting maximum pressure, absolute maximum pressure on Iran, this might happen because this post, he's saying by Wednesday. By Wednesday, it looks like this is going to happen. We will see. We will see. This is the thing. If they attack, expect all of the markets to go into free fall, actual free fall. Just so I'm going to explain, so it's nice and clear. And you guys, oh, but you didn't say that. You didn't know. I'm telling you guys, that's what will happen, right? Now, this is what I'm going to say to you, right? So you have to be very, very, very vigilant of what's going on at this present moment in the markets. Because if this starts to pull back, if the S&P starts to pull back, and because all other markets are still at all-time high. If you look at the economy, nothing about the economy should mean that this and all of the other markets should be at all-time high. Nothing, right? So we're in peak level of like, whatever. Everything's fine. Everything is fine, except everything isn't. A report came out today. I wasn't able to find it, right? A report came out today, is that today, again, this week, the amount of houses for sale in the USA have surpassed that of people buying. Right? So we're coming into a point where there's going to be a massive contraction in all markets. Because this is the thing you need to say, right? I thought I was already following you. Weird. Yeah, my other account got banned for human trafficking. He's 100% taking over. Using threats of war about Iran is crazy. We'll see. We'll see what's going to happen, right? I don't want him to go in. If he goes in, it will be catastrophic, right? Catastrophic, because it's not just that and the oil and all that kind of stuff. This will start going into a long prolonged occupation of that country. It's just not, there is no benefit. There is no benefit to them going in. Zero. There is literally zero fear for the USA to have any fear of Iran. Zero. None. They don't have a border. Their strength has got nowhere near any level of strength to USA. They shouldn't even be on their radar. Well, apart from one particular reason, but I can't talk about that. But we all know what that is, right? I sent you Dion. She may help you with the ban. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, right? Now, this is where we are, right? So it looks like this is going to happen. And if you want to see how bad things are right now, I don't know if you guys know something about the shrimp inflow, right? This indicator, this what's going on right now. This shows the amount of liquidity flowing into Binance. It's lower than 2017. People are pushing on full risk-off mode, full. And I'll say this: if Bitcoin gets, and I'll put this here, if Bitcoin loses the 60,000 level, right, we're going into what I said many times before. If anyone else watches my lives, I don't know if anyone watches them, and people who want to watch my videos, you need to press that notification button on my videos, because I've told all these things to everyone before. You need to watch them. I'm not like other creators where I just talk about crap. I actually give proper, serious opinions and serious understandings of what I know, my understandings and all that kind of stuff, right? My teachings and my learnings and all that kind of stuff. But this is what I'll say to you. There is no new money coming into this industry. Zero. And if we hit and break 60,000, we are going to reach what I have said 2 weeks ago, and that is peak capitulation. This is when you start seeing institutions selling. This is where you start seeing large whales selling. This is where you start seeing the free fall of this industry, right? Oh my God. Right? Free fall of this industry. This is where we are right now, and this is the situation of what's happening. He also said Jam has been a bear for the past 2 years. He's missed every single pump that we've had. He's missed every single play that we have. Saying one thing for 2 years doesn't mean that you're correct. It means that you've missed out on all the other opportunities because you think it's only going down. See, this is the thing. A bear can look amazing. A bear can look like the cleverest person in the room, but bulls make money because a bear will always be a bear. One thing that's correct doesn't mean he knows the whole thing. And that's where your fault will be. And I don't know what's going on with that guy, by the way. His videos are on borderline what is going on, right? Now, this is the situation where you guys need to understand, right? That's where we are. Inflows are not in anywhere near where it should be and everything on that level. Now, fantastic. He was crazy correct. Then why are you in my life? You can go and watch his live, and I'm sure I've watched his live. He doesn't say anything anymore. He goes, when it will be? I don't know. Join my group. Where are we going? I don't know. Join my group. Where are we going? I don't know. I don't know. He has no idea about anything else. That doesn't mean he knows anything. Now, where it's going at this present moment, where are we and what's happening? And this is the thing that I want to explain to everyone clearly. This week, we have major impact news. On top of all this, Abel, on top of all of this, we have massively major news that's coming in, right? Anyone, by the way, anyone wants to see it, you can go here, you can see my screen and everything else, screen, and see what I'm showing on screen on that level. I'm just going to put this on the screen because there's just so much stuff. There's so much stuff, right? Okay. Now, this is where we're. This week, and I mean this week, Joshua Jake hates Trump after all the Trump. Okay, maybe I didn't. Well, you know, sometimes they can look. I know what he's trying to do. He's just being whatever. I hear you're on TikTok and watch your screen on X. All right, okay, I appreciate it. Sorry, one day I'm gonna be able to do this. It's just I'm waiting for my account to get. What can I do? You know what I mean? People, scammers were after my account and report me for human trafficking. What can I say? It's crazy. Now, right now, right? We're having the initial reaction. The Monday range is going to be set today. So today's a reaction to the 15%, the potential 50% global tariffs, right? We have the Iran threat. I've talked about that. That the State of Union tomorrow, right? And what's going to be said there and the tone there is going to be very, very interesting. Not going to be too much of a effect, but at least it's going to have some sort of effect on the market. It could be a positive effect because people are so patriotic and all this kind of stuff and everything else. Now the big one, the real big one, the real big one is NVIDIA earnings. If NVIDIA beats earnings, right, we should be good. I just don't know how it's going to be. I have absolutely no idea how it's going to be earnings. I have no understanding of how the earnings are going to be beat at this present moment. Because unless chat send complaint to TT, the more of us complain about the ban. Yeah, you can do that if you want to, if you but I'm asking for people to like Cryptus. I appreciate you, but I just don't see anyone doing that, unfortunately. Now so this NVIDIA earnings is going to be unbelievably important. It's super duper important because that is the leading indicator and the health of the S&P 500, right? If Iran is not getting that word, what then? A prediction? I can't give a prediction. If it doesn't, markets will rally. There will be a rally effect of it. Short term, but it still will rally because that's a massive. Yeah, I can't even explain to you. It is so serious what they're doing there. Anyway, so NVIDIA earnings is going to be important. That's going to be affecting the market, the S&P 500 leading indicator. If that is showing weakness, if the NVIDIA is showing weakness, everything else is showing weakness. And the thing is, all of the other Magnificent Seven stocks and earnings are weak. They're weakening. We'll see. I mean, AI is extremely important, but we're kind of starting to see sort of cracks in the system where the cost to producing AI and the effect of it is becoming more and more costly, and they're not making money. They're all losing at the moment. They're all losing money. And if you're investing billions upon billions upon billions of dollars and at the same time not making money, then it makes you think, why would they start buying more and more of this compute? We'll see. I don't know what it is. What's going on? We'll see. Nvidia is like other AI companies spending on data centers. Yeah, but they're the ones providing. If the data centers are not doing well, we'll see, right? We'll see. Now, on top of that, we have the initial jobless claims on Thursday, which is also going to have an effect. If that is starting to weaken, that could be a good sign if it starts to weaken. But if it shows strength, right? Because the problem is, what's happening right now is job creation is flattening out. There's no job creation happening. At the same time, the biggest employer of jobs, the U.S. government, have just stopped employing them because Donald Trump is trying to stop this expenditure drain from the markets, right? So we're in this crazy oxymoron situation where the market needs it, at the same time it doesn't need that. Do you have any position right now in the stock market? Not in the stock market. No. I'm only in the short. By the way, I'll show you some stuff on the Alpha Hunters. We did some amazing plays. I called this short absolutely perfectly, and I put it onto the things and onto my socials, and no one watched it. You know, as it goes. By the way, and I will say this to everyone that's going on at this present moment, right? The Alpha Hunters group, the Discord group, the price is going up today. Someone asked me if I could present it on the live, so I'm going to say the Alpha Hunters group is going up today. The price is going up today. So if you want to join, today is the day, right? Because it will not be this price ever again. It just will not be this price again. I just don't. I want to say it. Let me see if I can show this. Right here, you see a perfect call. An absolutely perfect call of this. I said it, I described it, I did it here. Everyone here made 5 years, literal 5 years the cost of this. If you go there and you look at the cost and think, that's not worth it, then I don't know what it is, because you spend more on coffee. That's all I'm going to say. And on top of that, there's teaching lessons, there's live trading, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's coming. On top of that, you have a 50% deposit bonus on WeX and a whole bunch of other crazy things, copy trading by a professional trader and a whole bunch of stuff with me and everything. You won't believe the what you're getting for your money. Some people don't believe it. When they come in, they go, wait, you seem to be getting a lot for this money. That is exactly what it is. Anyway, off from that note. Now, how much time do I need to invest per day to work with the Alpha? What do you mean? How much time do I need to invest per day to work with? It's $12.99, bro. One trade. Yeah, Rez, I tried joining the free group, but Discord Discord is all stuck in a loop. You need to if you get stuck on if you're trying to do it through your phone, you need to put it onto desktop mode, and that's the only way you can get in. Otherwise, do it on your desktop and it'll work. You don't need to invest. Literally one trade. This one trade gave you 5 years worth of the cost of the Alpha Hunters trade. 5 years that I just showed you. That's what you need to understand. Capitulation coming just before liquidity inflows. And look, what would happen is that we need to see a bit of a reset happen right now, right? We really do need to see a bit of a reset happen, and then we can go from there. So that's the situation of what's happening. If we don't see that reset, then this is going to be a slow grind down to the bottom. But I'm thinking November is a time that we will get this. 6 months. I'm giving it 6 months. I trade this up to all my browser. It's weird, Foggy. Look, message me on Telegram, and I'll see what I can do for you. Anyway, that's the situation where we are, right? Now, on top of that, right, we have PPI. Now, PPI is the Fed's number that they like. This is important. If PPI comes in hot, the market will pull back, because the chance of a rate cut is it's at 4% chance of breaking. That'll go to 0. The Fed will not cut. I see no reason for the Fed to cut. The Fed would rather do quantitative easing than cut at this present moment. To be honest, the Fed would be far happier if all markets absolutely crashed right now. If the markets all went into full capitulation, if it went into a spiral down, they would love it. Because to get the market out of that is easy for them. It's easy. It doesn't cost anything for them. They just cut interest rates heavily and print money. Done. That's it. Done. Finished. There we go. It's over. And that's how they push it. But at this present moment, the last thing that they want, and it's looking that way, GDP was terrible last week. Absolute terrible. And at the same time, if inflation is going up, we're coming into stagflation levels. These are not good signs, right? These are none of these things are good things. Now, not far from that now, low. Yeah, exactly. Now, that's where we are right now, right? Each one of these things with some level of uncertainty. I mean, PPI, massively important. Jobless claims, massively important. NVIDIA, massively important. The Iran situation, which could happen this week, massively important. What Donald Trump done with tariffs, massively important. Every single one of these ones are massively important. And on top of that, right, it adds constantly to the fear and uncertainty of investors. No one will invest in this market if that's going on. And the only areas they will invest into is to relatively safe assets, income generating assets, all of the things that are very, very important for the markets to actually gain a level, right? This is where we are. This is where we are right now. Now, if we look at the market right now, we saw that we had the weekly close below the 2.31, and that's about a bad situation right now, right? We're not in an absolutely fantastic situation. We have to see. It could come and potentially test the 2.1, right? That is an area that's because midweek strategy, we could see a bit of a small bounce. But at this present moment, we have to pretty much short every long at this present moment, right? Until there is either very bullish news, something that will make normal markets run, or we get to a point where there is a balance and a tiring of selling. And I don't see how that's going to happen because ETFs have a lot of money in their pocket right now. This is where we are right now, right? Semiconductors, energy, pharma, metals pumping. Yeah, they're pumping. They're pumping. Let's see for how long. Let's see for how long that they are, because people are concentrating money into key areas. On top of that, we have mid-level lenders that are pausing. Anyone look into our finance? They're pausing. What's it called? They're pausing clients. Money, they can't take the money out of the fund at the moment, right? And they can't refinance, and because of that, none of our profit making, they can't gain any liquidity because the cost of the liquidity will be greater than their profits. So we're in this kind of crazy scenario right now where everything seems to be like you don't know us. Everything seems to be in a absolute free wine. What, someone just sent me something. What did they just send me? What did you just see this? What did I see this? Supreme Court decision, especially those will be met with much. All right, someone just sent me. Cryptus just sent me something, just so I can. Yeah, let's just put this on. All right, let me just screenshot this bad boy, because as if we don't have enough absolute ridiculousness that's going on with this guy. I don't know if you are ready for the amount of winning that we're getting from this dude, right? All right, let's put this up. All right, okay, cool. Now, this apparently just has been pushed onto Donald Trump's tweet or whatever it's called, what he does. Any country that wants to play games with the ridiculous court decision, especially that those that have ripped off the USA for years and even decades, will be met with a much higher tariff and worse than that, which they've just recently agreed to. Buyer beware. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald Trump. I love the buyer beware. That's my favorite. And more importantly, this bit here will be met with a much higher tariff and worse than which they just recently agreed to. Why would they play games? They've just agreed. Bruh, Donald Trump, man, bruh. Bruh, don't worry about it. They've just agreed to it. Ah, God, it's so stupid. Anyway, whatever. Now, look. I'm going to have to put another line in the sand here, right? I'm going to have to put another line in the sand. And that line in the sand, that's a... All right, I'm going to put 2 lines here. So you guys can have a clear understanding of where this could go to. The clear line in the sand, is if it breaks, doesn't it always, didn't last cycle, you're not being factual. It doesn't always, and what's it? A lot of good news that worked it's not, I am just finding confluences. I'm just giving you the news. I'm giving you the news and how it will affect the other markets, right? If we look right now, if we look at, are you going to watch the State of the Union? I don't know. He's probably going to say that there's more people that were there than anyone else, any other president ever created. Do you know that? Do you know that the world will be there? They're going to ship them in. Everyone in the world. No, not just by camera. Everyone in the world is going to, all 6 billion people are going to be at his State of the Union address, just so everyone can understand. It's going to be a bit crowded, but they'll show how important he is. Now, 2.05. 2.05 is the line in the sand that we see here. The line in the sand. If that breaks, we are going to 1.7 trillion. The best greatest speech in his speech of every history speech is then history speech is ever been done by speech of histories. So history didn't repeat. Then you're speaking out of both sides. Oh, I don't know what's going on. All right, there's some sort of disagreement happening. Right now, if you look at Bitcoin, Ponky was talking about the other day around the sub 40 level, right? Let's look at Bitcoin. Oh God, that looks terrible, right? Let's look at the Bitcoin right now. Where would the sub 40 level be? Let's look at a larger time frame here. It will also be the most beautiful state of the union. It will be, you have no idea. Like rain will not land on that day. Even if it rains, it won't rain, right? If it lands, it won't rain. So I'm just going to man like Alvarez. What do you mean? What happened? What did I say? What happened? What's going on? Am I distressing you right now? I don't mean to distress you. Right, okay. Let's say this. Right now, I'm just pointing out certain inefficiencies on the graph. I'm just pointing it out. It's just really, really important. I'm just pointing it out. The first inefficiency, right? the first inefficiency sits around 49, between 52 and 49, right? Those 2 areas there are area inefficiency, and inefficiencies are these wicks where price moved quicker through leverage trading, right? I'm gonna get to something about leverage trading. That's that one. But the one that really worries me is the sub 41, because there is technically one at 38,250. Now, whether we'll get there, we'll see, right? We'll see. I will say this. If America goes in, I could definitely see sub 50. Easily see sub 50 if they go in. Still dubious if he's going to go in. Let's see what happens. By the way, do you get a tickets to BOFA? What's BOFA? I don't know what buffer is. What's buffer? I can see it definitely reaching 49 to 50. Yeah. It's a definite area. This area is, there is a chance that it could reach here. All right. We are at, yeah, I mean, that would be the maximum low. Love me. Dave, I don't know what's going on right now. Dave, I have no idea what's happening. Anyway, whatever. That's the maximum low of this range. And if we look at this range precisely right now, where is this? Right there. Okay. If you look at this range precisely, it's that. So anyway, between that could be an area where we could see its support, but most likely it's going to come and try and test the bottom. I would not be surprised, right? So that's what we need to look at. But I'm going might end this a bit quicker, but I'll talk a bit. Maybe for significant low, but over Bitcoin is going to 30K. I don't think 30K and low. I would be very surprised if it gets 30K and low. That would be the buying opportunity of a century if it gets that. We'll see. Maybe. Who knows? Alright, can you highlight people claiming they know exact dates of flushing are inaccurate? There's no chance. I'm telling you now. Anyone that says that there's a date where this thing will go down and it'll flush, or they'll know this and this and the other. Not. If anyone gives you exact understandings of what's going to happen, or what date it's going to happen, or where it will happen, or this and the other, or if someone says, right? If someone says that they feel something for more than a week, right? If they're giving you more than a week prediction right now, they are just guessing. And eventually they will be right, right? I just want to say, eventually I could say this could go up, and in 2 years it could possibly go up, right? And there'll be a moment where I look like a genius, where the real players play, where the real understanding happens, is where people will know where it goes from day to day, week to week, right? Have an understanding of where things are going, because it can change on a dime. On a dime right now. It is so, it's like a contracted spring at the moment, the whole market. Like it's about to do something at any second, right? And if you want to talk about a spring at any second, look at the S&P 500. Look at the S&P 500 right now. It is trading at extreme, like, I'm sorry, I don't want to say it. It is trading at extreme tolerances. And the more this gets to this sort of tightening in, that's what, anyway, I can't say that. This sort of closing in, this tighter range of thanks, Punky, I appreciate it. The more it gets tightening in, the tighter this trading range gets, the more of a violent move is going to happen in this market. Now, whether that's up or down, no one knows, right? no one knows right now, because it could either be, I mean, you know what I mean? No one knows where this is going to go at this present moment, the S&P 500. But to me, Brev, that's a bit, you know, it's a bit all-time high when things should not be all-time high. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a bit, you know what I mean? Like, we need some sort of correction. It's happened. How many days? Okay, let's look at correction days. This is a bit of a lame duck way of doing it. All right, how many days until the correction for that? That was 2 years. 2 years correction, right? Let's see what this one was. How many years was this correction? That was, where are we? A year. That was a year correction. That was a year and a half. Where are we right now? We are a year. Couple of months. Couple of months. Yeah, I think a couple of months could be a period where this thing can absolutely, or less. Who knows? Between a year to 2 is where this thing will go off, and things look. If what happens, this will go down. I mean, 100%. I made that without claiming I know exact. No one knows exact dates. I don't know why. Why? Who cares? Anyone? Yeah, the fib 0.7. You mean on Bitcoin? You mean on Bitcoin? I'll have a look. No one really knows what's gonna happen, and there's a reason why no one really knows, because even Berkshire Hathaway is sitting on billions of dollars. I mean, He has so much money in that. If he just put it into any, like if you put it into, I'll tell you how much he would be making, just so you understand. What is US Treasuries at the moment? What rate is that at? So you understand how much money this is. What is this at the moment? It's at 4%. What is 4% of $400 billion? Can someone do that? What is 4% of $400 billion? Can someone help me here? Anyone want to do this exercise? So you understand the sheer insanity of money this guy has. All right, what is 4% of 400 billion? $16 billion. That guy is making, is it 16? Yeah, $16 billion. That guy is making 16. If he just bought US Treasuries right now, he would be making $16 billion a year. But he's not. He's not buying treasuries. He's sitting in cash, in dollar. I mean, I don't know if that actually means anything. Who knows? Who knows if that means anything? To me, a guy who's a serial investor, an absolute serial investor, is like, I don't trust anything right now. Anything. 400 billion is only 10% of Nvidia. Once these stocks topple over, the real pain starts. I agree with you, Joshua, 100%. Look, forget any of them. Forget Google, forget any of them. Nvidia is the one you need to check. If that starts to show weakness, the whole market is going to. Anyway, I don't want to say it, but the whole market is going to look a bit iffy, right? It's a little bit iffy. It's a little bit sketch breath. You know what I mean? Sketch. But that's where we are. That is my little 1 hour and a bit show of 150 different type of things and information that I gave you guys. Now, can I get a few likes, please? Can I get a few likes or like something to show that the amount of information I have just laid down in 157 seconds of whatever, right? The 2018 charts. Right. Let me get some. Can I get some likes? I love how everyone left. I was like, can I get some likes? Nope. Bye. Nope. I'll see you later. I will not be giving you nothing. I'll give you nothing. I will not press the screen. All right. I am only here to take. That's it. I don't care what you say. I'll see you later. What is this? Love the info. I appreciate it. Thank you. Right. Okay. It's inevitable. Correct. Nothing goes up forever. Look, before I get to the good news, right? Before I get to what I will say is potential good news. If we look at this market as we speak, right? Look at this market right now as we speak. If you knew what you knew right now, right? Then the market had a retrace, right? Say we were up here. Say we were up here and we were at this point here, this 3.3, where everything started to turn from that moment. Say we were there, right? Say we're there. Imagine if this was inverted, if this graph was inverted. Imagine if this was actually going up, right? What would you do? If you were here in hindsight, we're looking at hindsight right now. This is how experience plays into the understand. I'm just here for entries. Yeah, that guy was amazing. He was like, I'm going to write this down. You need to know I'm only here for entries, right? Stop talking to me. Get to the point. I'm giving you my time. That should be payment. If this is the other way around, right? If this was completely inverted up and you were at this point here where everything started to go down, right? This 3.91 trillion. What would you do? Let's look at a Bitcoin. Forget that. Let's do it on Bitcoin's graph, right? All right. If you were here, right, when you were 116,000 Bitcoin, and this is inverted. Say this was 116,000 Bitcoin right now. What would you do? What would be your understanding, right? What would you have learned when Bitcoin had this pullback? I'm curious what people have learned from this move, right? I mean, I'm going to tell you, but I'll just tell you, right? As this goes up, and it's like, this will never have a pullback. This will never go into a bear market. This will never, ever, ever, ever go down, right? Even at the top, this is going to have absolute ridiculous amounts of numbers. It's going absolutely crazy, right? The same is true of this as well. There is no such thing as down forever. Mountains go both ways. It's just the other way around is just a deep, dark hole. But eventually you'll find the bottom and then get back into light, right? You can make money both ways. We did it today. Right? We did it today. We had a massive short going on. I made, I think, 78% of my money, right? Amazing. In 5 minutes. This is the thing. Everyone is doom and gloom. Look, positivity is engrossing and people can think it will go forever. Negativity is 10 times worse. You see, people come in and give no value other than just throw campaign and say, oh, this person was right. Do you understand what I mean? That means nothing. Being right about once means nothing. Thinking this is going to go down forever means nothing. It doesn't mean anything. All you can do and understand right now, and if you're here and you're here for the long term, I want to see where the future of this goes and find the right entries and everything. What the? Anyway, and you want to see all those kind of things. You have to learn in these moments. You have to build, learn, understand. Learn as much as you can so you don't make the same mistakes. And when this goes down and you find that bottom, you find that area, you will be the one here that will become the person that entered at these wicks, where in 2 years' time, it will come back down and try and take that wick out. But you would have already exited because you've had the experience. You have done all the aspects that you have. You've done everything that you can possibly imagine and learn. There's no such thing as down forever. There's no such thing as up forever. Well, I mean, there could be down forever, but whatever, right? I don't see that. I don't see that happening. People forget it and misunderstand and don't look at the greater aspect of things, right? That's where we are. That's the thing that you need to understand. This is where we're sitting right now. So don't be emotionless about what's happening right now. If you want to cut and run. Run. Do it. No one should stop you from doing that. If you want to stay and learn, stay and learn. No one should stop you from doing that. If you want to check out the Alpha Hunters group, shameless plug, do it. It's the best place to learn and understand. It's a safe place for everyone to ask any question they want to. And it's Netflix. You understand what I mean? Try it once. If you don't like it, go. I guarantee you'll be like surprised at what that is. This is where we are right now. And now, it's a shameless plug, I can't lie. I just love it. I love the people there. I want everyone to, the thing is, I've made it one of my other creators came in and was like, why are you making this so cheap? You're making my group look bad. He said this to me. And I was like, I don't care. I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it so people can benefit from it. That's it. That is the only reason. Anyway, whatever, right? So that's the situation where we are. Now, let's get to the good part. Right? And then I'll leave you on a high. Remember I showed this graph to you, where since 2018, this is possibly the worst quarter Bitcoin cryptocurrency has ever seen, right? Shall we have a look at 2018? Let's have a look at 2018, right? That's 2018, this bit here. This is the 2018 bull run. This here, that was the 2018 bull run. Actually, I'll move it like this. That was a 2018 bull run. That, right there. It followed the timing over 4 year cycles so far, the volume of October, until it doesn't, going with the flows into, maybe if, but who knows, right? Whatever. I don't like to look at those type of things. I look at what the graphs show me. Now, right now, everyone here is looking at 2018 bull run. And everyone's looking at it going, yeah, there's a lot of like similarities, things and everything else. But people are missing something. They're missing something, right? And they're missing something quite important. The reason why we look like 2018 is because we've had a non-euphoric high Bitcoin run. Altcoins, none of them have run, right? That is what came afterwards. So if anyone has a feeling of trying to understand what could potentially happen, I'm not saying it's going to happen. By all means, there's a lot of things that have gone a bit haywire this year, right? If you want to see what's going to happen and what potentially going to happen, and if you are one of those people that says, oh, I look at the past and now I look at the future and trying to understand where everything is going and yada, 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 but our last 4-year cycle, but according to the other one is, then look at this. We're 2018 right now. That's 2018. Pay attention. The second one is what came afterwards. A euphoric high alt season and bull run. Do you understand what I mean? If you don't have any dry powder, join the Alpha Hunters and you'll definitely get dry powder. Believe me. This is the difference. And if we look at this understanding, and let's just say, this is just a hypothetical trying to make you feel better move right now. If we look at what we would describe as the move from here to where it went to, that was a 16x from the bottom. Right? If we were to get I think we'd have to go a bit more. If, say, we were going to get to, let's say it went down to here. Would be $500,000 Bitcoin. It would equate to $500,000 Bitcoin if we saw the same amount of move. And you'd be like, but Alvarez, you're insane, right? You're absolutely ridiculous, right? There is no way that that amazing period, as Crypto said, extraordinarily high liquidity environment, people had money to throw at it. We are currently on the verge of getting an act passed that is going to give access to this market that is worth $32 trillion. Just so you understand, we're getting access, the legal framework for all of USA's financial institutions to have a legal and non-regulatory capture method of entering into this market. If you want to see where the money is going to come from, it'll come from there. And I'll leave you on that note. I'll leave you on that note so you can have a real think about it and understand that these movements, these runs, these aspects are not 1-2 year type of situations. They're multi-year generational type of moves. And if you can catch it right, it will change your life forever. But that doesn't mean that you'll always catch it right. It doesn't mean that you'll always have the right entries. It doesn't mean you won't make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. It's how you learn. Anyone that's done something perfectly has never learned a single thing in their life. There we go. All right. G-Ball, thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. I assume the person you were watching before me was not as interesting as I was. Thank you so much, Alvarez. Of course. Right? Just want everyone to understand all of this. You understand that there are a lot of issues in the world. There's a lot of things going on. It doesn't mean anything is over. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything, right? It is literally, it doesn't mean anything. And all you can do is play it day by day, week by week. And if you want to have a safe, and this is a shameless, I'm not going to lie, it's fully shameless, right? If you want, you don't even have, there's a free section to it. Completely free there. If you want to go to a community that's there to help you and not say anything and be there to listen, and you can learn and do all that kind of stuff, you can go and check out the Alpha Hunters. It's in the link in the bios. That's it. The last 5 sentences are the reason I follow you. Thank you. Appreciate that. That means a lot. A holiday in Canaries tomorrow for a week. I will try to view when possible. Of course, Enrich Gardens. Anyone that's welcome, anyone that doesn't want to do all that kind of stuff is always welcome. I'm here. I'm different than most. Sure, you understand. And I'm still here, right? I understand. The people who are here are the ones that actually have gone through those 3 cycles and are not lying to you, right? Do you think that crypto will go up if clarity passes? You might see a momentary run, but I don't think it's going to get to anywhere. Clarity is a long-term thing, because the payment rails and the liquidity flows are going to take time for banks to implement and for people to really understand. Hey, look, it's going to give banks and institutions the framework for 401ks to put money into Bitcoin. 401ks. Do you understand? How big is 401ks? Trying for a month, $12 is no brainer. It's stupid, right? Yeah, it's $12. I lose that in a transaction from one wallet to another, man. What do you? I didn't even think about that, man. Anyway, it's going up today. Look, what is the amount that's in 401ks? I'm just curious. How much money is in the 401k at the moment? How much money is in 401k? 1 second. How much money is in 401k? How much money is in 401k? It's in total 4.8 trillion. That's an instant doubling of this market. There we go. That's it. Anyway, that's it. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the likes. Thank you so much for everything that's going on to you guys. Thank you so much for watching and being here and doing all this stuff and supporting and checking out all that kind of thing. Check out, as I said, you can check out the Alpha Hunters. There's teaching there. There's KB there. He's an awesome dude. He knows what he's talking about, all that kind of stuff. I'm there. I give more details. We have market analysis. We have memes and all this kind of stuff, and a really nice community. And even there's a section where you can put your trades in there, and everyone will there and help, and it's free. All of that stuff is free. Only my trades and KB's teaching and all that kind of stuff as a cost to it. Everything else is free to go and join. Anyway, I'll catch you guys all together. Tomorrow will be another day. Let's watch. Should we watch the address? Should we check? What Donald Trump says and says how beautiful everything is. Should we see how beautiful what Donald Trump and the world thinks everything is? And then we can sit there while he sends all of the military into the Middle East. Anyway, whatever. Look, you guys are absolutely incredible. It means a lot that you're here. And I'll catch you guys later. Take care. Peace, 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 peace. All right. And for you guys, check it out. If you want to know where the Alpha Hunters is, in the links on the bottom. And you can see that little level on the bottom where you can go there. There's a link tree. You can see the Alpha Hunters, WAP. Just join the WAP and all that kind of stuff. A whole bunch of stuff is coming sooner or later, and we're going to be copy trading, so you can actually keep your eyes closed, and the pros can do all that kind of stuff. Anyway, peace, affection, all that kind of